Come on, Heatwave. There we go. Alrighty, folks. We're here for Tier 1. It is the Imola. We're here at Imola this evening. It's, well, I still think it is the San Marino Grand Prix, but, you know, we'll just say it's Imola. We're here at Imola, getting ready for 18 minutes here in qualifying. We're on board with last season's champion, Chandler Sater. He is in for tonight. We've got a few former champions in tonight, and we've got 19 drivers ready to see how they go around Imola. And of course, joining me as always is Zach. Zach, it's always a pleasure to be here with you on this fine morning. Or night for you.
It's not a morning for me, it's actually dusk. 8 o'clock. So I have Tier 2 race in a couple hours, but I might as well spend that time bored by commentating a Tier 1 race and learning off of this. So, like what you said, it's always a pleasure commentating with you as well. I have enjoyed it so far, and I'm hoping that I'll continue to enjoy it, which I will through the rest of the season.
Dusk there, well, it's absolutely pouring down here at the moment, so hopefully my internet can get through the next hour and a half, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So if you do see any dramas, ladies and gentlemen, it's because of the weather. Well, last week we were in Australia, and I believe Skipper did it again.
Yeah, he did.
Again. And he's looking for 4 in a row here tonight. But we know, I mean, Chandler's only here I think, just for a, how you going? But Chandler's history here at Imola has been very, very good. But Skipper's going to be, once again, one to beat.
I do agree with that one. Skidder has been doing something Chandler actually had been doing last season, winning every race so far that he showed up to. Skidder has. He showed up to all 3 events so far in Tier 1. We're going to see if someone with the likes of Chandler or Cookie can break that record for Skidder in the season. But like what you said, I believe Skidder will be trying to look out for, like always, in the Alfa Romeo. As now we're just waiting for everybody to get their laps in while we're down 3.5 minutes to qualifying, 2.5 actually, excuse me.
As the Alfa Romeo out there on a lap so far, and we'll see how the Alfa Romeo can do here. Chandler's going to be actually one of the first ones across the line, but I don't know if it's actually a legit lap from him, but we'll keep on board with Mr. Chandler Sater either way for a lap and see how he goes in the opening laps around here. Of course, we're here at Imola, Zach. Thoughts on this track? It is a unique one. It's a unique one in league racing, where of course anything can happen. Like me, who crashed out in his last race at BRL. It's a track that, well, anything can happen. There can be a bit of drama and chaos with it as Skipper goes P1. It's a unique circuit.
Yeah, definitely. I hate this track. It was Dominica or Catra knows what I said about this track. I don't think I can say it on stream because it would probably be taken down. As Tube goes top in the Williams with a 14.9. Lap time's definitely starting to fall down. So you have the Ferrari of Ritzy, the Mercedes of PSR. Luis had a little 360 spin while you were talking about your thoughts on the track. Well, I will ask you, although it's not related to this game, how's your Mark Strafe manager career going?
Oh, that's a great question. I know there'll be some people watching this that won't give a bleep word about the game, but well, as we're on board here with the Aston Martin, with the Aston Martin side, Gasly up, and Gasly's so much quicker than Vettel. And why is there 2 cars around? Boss Cookie's around. There was another McLaren around. There was Raptor. Don't know if those 2 came together or not, but Cookie's out of qualifying.
That is not good for his.
Hey.
It's not good for him, as I believe that is someone around as well. I saw someone around. I think it was the Mercedes of Louisa again, I believe it was. But Cookie, this is not good for Cookie. Got his lap time in. That way he will at least start last. Who knows who will start now, but we have, like what you said, 19 drivers. That is very good attendance so far for your return after missing last week. And I'm excited to see what kind of racing we get to see this week. As we haven't went over standings yet, so I'll go ahead and do that. So our leader
Yes, please
will
do.
be Emilia. The championship leader will be Skidder with 77 points. And then we have Hoop and P2 with 51 off later of Skidder. Heatwave and P3 in the standings as well. After a second place finish at Saudi Arabia else, he has 26 points, 51 off of Skidder and 25 off of Hoop. And then you have Cookie, Ham, Raptor, Alpha Nieces, Luis, Axe, Sanchez, Mozzie, Stenner, Minico, Roscoe, Gibbs, Wraith, Jacob, Drenot, and Simon. Rounding up your driver standings, I hear you chuckling over there, so I'm assuming I missed something. But the championship, we have Alfa Romeo on top with 87 points. In P2, we have Williams 77, 10 off of Alfa Romeo. Then you have Red Bull quite a ways back from the top two, 53 off of Alfa Romeo, 34 points to Red Bull's name, 43 off of Williams, and then you have McLaren, AlphaTauri, Alpine, Ferrari, Mercedes, Haas, and Aston Martin rounding out the Constructors' Championship.
As Heatwave goes P10, I was just on board with Heatwave, and I had many questions to how he didn't have an invalidation for so many parts of that lap. Um, it was, let's just say, questionable. Not on Heatwave's part, it was just questionable that the game just allowed him to have the lap. But either way, Raptor P5 so far. So Hoops on top, Skiffer, Chandler, that's your top three. And there's still a few to come to show their pace here at the moment, including Axe, who's out there on a lap right now.
Yes, it is. I've been looking at Sector 1. He has a purple Sector 1. I'm not sure if that is legitimate or not, but he is a second and 17th up on his lap time. Excuse me there. But going into Sector 2 now, this is the worst part of the track, at least in my opinion. Look out for as he gets a snap of oversteer, was able to correct it. Going into this corner, I don't know, but I hope you do. But in last year's game, you would almost spin out every time you go through this corner. This game is the exact opposite. You're not able to turn, but going into this fast chicane here, 6 seconds and 8/10 up on his lap time. No purple Sector 2 though. Let's see if he can close out Sector 3 with a good lap time here. But going through the final 2 quarters now, make sure you don't get any oversteer coming out of this corner because it's very easy to do so. Same with the final corner. No oversteer for Axe. Very smooth on the power and the steering inputs. Now coming across the line, he will go P5 with the 15.5.
Not bad from Axe. He goes 5, just ahead of his teammate in the McLaren. And yes, hello, War Machine. It's great to speak to you. As Chandler Sater now, excuse me, in the Alpine. Looking to see how he goes for this lap. It's going to be P1, 14.7 from Chandler. Said it before, Chandler's got good history here at Imola, and he will try to keep that good history going here this evening. As Skiffer in the Alfa Romeo on his lap time so far, 0.3 behind Chandler's time. He needs to find a little bit of time here to possibly get up near pole position if he wants to be here at the moment. A few yellow flags around, but it's drivers in, drivers through. Drivers slowing down as here comes Skiffer to the line. This is going to be to the top. It's not. It's a 14.859 as Hoop must have validated he's back in P3. So it's looking like Chandler and Skiffer very close with each other here so far. And it's quite tight at the top here so far. As Louis out there in the Mercedes looking to see what type of lap time he can do as he's down at P16.
Yes, Luis so far has been struggling qualifying, been looking after him, been getting simple 360 spins, but has now been able to complete a full lap here. Let's see where he goes. He goes P5 15.3. As the lap times here, aside from the top 3 really, have been very close with each other, but even then the top 3, 4/10 ahead of Boss Cookie, who is still a P4 by the way after his retirement, so question marks around Cookie if he was able to continue what kind of lap time he could have done as supplier after the other McLaren is starting his second flying lap, I believe.
Alphanesis out there at the moment as well in the Alpine. Raptor, as you said, out there on his lap time as well. So there's still many laps to go. Ryan's out there in the Haas as Axe has left the session. And that's not good. As we'll watch the New Zealander here up on his time so far. But let's go to Raptor. We'll come back to Ryan. Raptor, one of the next ones on a lap time so far, about to cross the line as Sten has actually retired from the session.
That is in turns, I believe. That is turn 5. I'm not sure. Going into turn 6. Maybe out of turn 6, going into turn 7. It's either one of the two. But you seemed like you got in the power too early. Could not crack it, and it went in the wall. The Red Bull went, and then it DNF. So that is a double Red Bull retirement in qualifying. A little bit of worries as Alphanesis in the other Alpine goes P2.
Yeah, Alphanesis goes P2 to P1-2 so far. Here comes Raptor to the line, and he will slightly improve. He does slightly improve. New Zealand Ryan has had some dramas on his lap. What about Mr. Roscoe? He's also validated as well. Of course, Roscoe and Ryan, a dream team to say the least. 6 minutes to go. The session is winding down quick. And there's still many chances to get lap times in here. And of course, look at that top 4. Very close between the top 4 so far. But the Peens, 1-2 so far. Skiffer's got to give a response. And that's what Hoop's trying to do as well. As he's only really got one flying lap in so far. And Heatwave out there on a lap right now. He's in P6 in the AlphaTauri. Looking for another good result here tonight.
Crispian Aston Martin just crossed the line and went P14 with a 16 flat. Excuse me, as Cam starting flying up, as I believe that is an Alpine. That is Alphanesis calling in the pit lane. But Hoop and the Williams sitting P4 at the moment, looking, like what you said, looking to respond to Chandler's pole lap with a 14.7, and Alphanesis and the other Alpine with a 14.8. Seeing the top of the Alpine 1-2 so far to start this Grand Prix.
So I gave Heatwave a commentator's curse there with spinning, but either way, here's Ryan who's done lap after lap after lap on the sauce. He'll cross the line, he'll go P9, so he's trying to find a bit of something in his setup here at the moment, trying to find a bit of time, and he will come in and possibly go on another fresh set of soft tyres. Mozzie down in P17, Driggs has validated his time. Here comes Roscoe, he's going to get a lap in, and Roscoe goes P17. So, here's Hoop. Let's see if Hoop can be up on this time here so far. And he's slightly up. Can he find some time in this last sector? Oh my days. That was a close moment there. As Sanchez has left the session, he's down in P13 so far in the Ferrari. What can the Williams driver do here? Can he possibly go up to the top with Chandler? Let's see. Hoop now to the line. It's a 14.9. So that little moment could have cost him possibly a P2, P3 as Chandler's lifted off on his lap so far.
Yeah, very nice catch by Hoop there. That could be around a 10th to 2/10 loss there. So I believe Hoop still can go up in the pole position here. It's just he's going to have to nail the lap. But Axe starting his second flying lap, going through the fast chicane there, trying not to spin hit after hitting that curb, which he doesn't. Very good for the McLaren driver. Going to the end of sector 1 now. Let's see what sector time he can do with the 24.028, which is 9 milliseconds down on his sector 1 time. So he's down on his time, but barely. He can still improve here.
I don't know if anyone can hear the rain right now, but it's absolutely pouring in Australia right now. So I'll try to speak as loud as I possibly can. As Axe now, he struggles through what we like to call the deaf corner. But I don't know if the deaf corner's so much a deaf corner in this game. I don't know. I don't know if it's a a fight for survival. I mean, as I think you said before last game, that corner was a fight for survival because everyone used to spin there. But we'll see how it goes here this evening as the McLaren now will come up to the line. He comes into the pits either way. So 2 minutes to go here in qualifying for Imola. Crispy's out there on the lap. And we are moments away to find out who's going to take pole position here for Imola. And I tell you what, it's looking like could be any of that top four.
Definitely. It could be Luis as well. Who knows? We've seen something like that last season if you're one as well. Like the Chandler looking like he'd been nowhere in qualifying. I forgot what race it was, but I have to go back and look for it. But Chandler last season had one of those qualifying sessions where he seemed like lackluster pace. Then at the end, he took pole away like how he usually does. Wonder if something like that could happen here tonight, or it could just be a battle for pole between the top four. Who knows? But we still have 2 minutes in this qualifying session left remaining, so anything could happen in relation to pole times.
Well, Potato, I'm in New South Wales, so remember our country's big, and there's a big difference. Here's Heatwave, one of the first ones to start off a lap time here. He's down in P6. You got Raptor, who's actually validated his time. And where is Crispy out on circuit? There's Crispy going for a spin. There we go. So we'll keep an eye on Heatwave. Heatwave, the first one to get a lap time in for the final minutes here in qualifying for Imola. It is round 4 of the Breakout Race League Tier 1. And there goes Heatwave off circuit. But he gets it. He still has another chance to go for another lap. Either way, as Louise out there on a time right now. But let's go to Chandler, who's starting things off. Can he try to, improve on that pole position?
Oh, he backs out of it.
No. He backs out. And where is he on circuit? He possibly could get to the line in time. We'll see. We'll see. As Skiffer now, next one who's going to try to get for pole position. See how he goes in this first part of the track. See if he can possibly take pole from Chandler. It's oh my goodness me, he's done the exact same first sector time as he's done. So now Skiffer's going to try to find something here in the middle sector if he possibly can to try to tackle Chandler from pole. Where's Chandler on circuit? 18 seconds. He should get to line in time to do another time lap. Very nicely done for the Alfa Romeo through there. And he's beautifully, smoothly, but he's only up by inches. Oh, that's an invalidation. And that is Skiffer not on pole. Alfa Nisus almost has a huge moment. And he's slightly up. He could possibly tackle his teammate. Supply Raptor goes into P5. Here at the moment. What about Hoop? No, Hoop's invalidated as well. So really the only one that could, well, at the moment, unless someone outside that top 4 can beat Chandler for pole is, well, Chandler's teammate. Here comes Alphanesis to the line. Oh, it's a 14-8. Doesn't get it. Doesn't get it. What about anyone else? What about New Zealand Ryan? Drinks goes up into P5 here in this Grand Prix. As Louis now, let's look at Louis. Louis down in P9 here so far, looking to see if he can possibly get up into pole position. 14-7 to beat. Axe goes into P5. Here comes Louis to the line. And he will... no, he goes up into P9. Ryan's invalidated. He will not be happy with that. He's suddenly outside the top 10. As Sanchez goes 13th. And Chandler has a spin. He was up on his time, but either way, he will take pole position here at Imola here this evening in the Alpine. So, a great lap he did early in the session, and it's shown beautifully for him here this evening.
As Nath has no front wing, so our grid positions will currently stay the same. But I was watching Chandler's lap, really. He just trusted the car so much to go wherever he wanted to go. That's really the difference between himself and really anybody else in this league, really. That's what sets him at the top. It's just amazing to watch, really. Just props to him for like a lap time like that, 14.7. But we have an Alpine front row lockout here, so in terms of constructors, Alpine is set up for a very beautiful points day here.
Indeed, they are. They're set up for a very good day. 1-2 for the Alpines. Alphanesis P2. Skiffer third, Hoop fourth, Axon fifth, Drink sixth, Raptor seventh, Cookie eighth, Louis ninth, and Heatwave rounds out the top 10 as Roscoe Arm is in P19, 16.074. So everybody, well, maybe not got their lap times they wanted to get in, but still got a decent lap time in here in the session as it's 1.3 between the field here in Imola. So close throughout the field. The top four very close to mid-pack, very, very close as we expected. And I'm sure it's going to be a close one here. Lap 1, turn 1 around here because it can be absolutely chaotic. Wings can be lost very easily.
Yeah,
Lap
that's
1
true.
around here. So, as always, Zach, who do you think is going to take victory here in Imola? Which, in a race where, well, safety cars can be a big factor as well, it can be a drama-filled race.
I don't really know, to be honest. If I had to pick one, I don't really know. 32 laps, I believe. I don't think the formation lap's on, so I better hurry. So I think
Oh,
Chandler will get a pole and race victory here. So we're just going to have to wait and see. It's going to be a very chaotic, like what you said. And I'm very excited for this.
trying to see here. Yeah, formation lap is indeed off. So there we go. So we better get ourselves ready for this one. And there's the tyres for you so far. Hard tyres for the top 8. Mediums are going on for a couple. But it could be hard tyres all the way up and down the board here for this race. And yeah, Ryan Naff, Sanchez, mediums, and then you got 16th down to 19th. They're on the mediums as well. And yeah, pretty much all hard tyres down the field here at the moment. Naff goes on the hards, mediums still on for Ryan and Sanchez. And then the bottom 4 are on the mediums. So pretty much everybody is wanting to start on those hard tyres.
So no sauce like what we see in basically every tier, including realistic, except for one person in realistic that I know. It was John John. So it seems like sauce here so far for every race so far in the season has been useless at the start. So we're going to see a lot of medium and hards for the rest of the season going forward, and I'll let you go ahead with the lights.
Well, it's round 4 here at Imola for Breakout Racing League Tier 1. Hopefully the game loads in. Here we go. We're about to get set. The two Alpines on the front row as we are racing around Imola. It's a good start for Chandler Sato. He gets to jump over his teammate Alphanesis. Is going to be in trouble here because he's got Hoop, who comes up into second place. Who's going to try to challenge Chandler, but he can't. Alphanesis will hold on. He's going to try to go around the outside of his teammate, but couldn't get it done. Alphanesis holds on into P2. You got Hoop there in P3, Skiffer P4, and Skiffer's going to try to get around his championship rival here so far. So let's bring up everything for you here at the moment in what has been a quiet so far, but everyone vying for position early.
Yeah, definitely a very peaceful start off the line there, from what I can tell. I don't see any for any of these drivers. So kudos to them for not losing their wing here. But Alphanesis had a really good start compared to Chandler. Both of them had to back out of it that way. They wouldn't crash to that. Actually towed around.
Louise around. And that is possibly damage for Louis. I don't know if he held it off the wall or not. Trying to see if there is a bit of damage. Could be a little bit of light damage, but not big damage out for him. So, let's go back up to the front. It's 1-2 here for Alpine. Chandler's pulling away. And he's doing very well nicely. Skiffer and Hoop will be haunting there behind. Cookie there in P7. He's going to try to go for a run here on Driggs. The Red Bull versus the Alpha Tauri. Does Cookie look for it? There's contact. And I'll tell this right now. And he's
he hit the AlphaTauri. Heat wave. And
it's chaos.
Away from multiple drivers.
Oh, it's a... Trying to see what it is. Oh, it's a full course safety car. Oh god, it's a full course safety car. Oh my days. If a New Zealander was watching this back, I know. But wow, so we have a full course safety car after a spin. You explain it because you had a better view of it than I did.
Don't worry, I clipped it, so I'll send it to you after the race is over. So, anyway, we have Nath Heatwave instead of the front wing. Cookie went off because made contact with Drix, and then rejoined in an unsafe manner, and I disconnected, I think.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. But anyway.
Yeah,
anyway,
so...
Heatwave, not Heatwave. So, Cookie hit Drix, Cookie went off, rejoined in an unsafe manner. Rejoined right in front of Heatwave. Heatwave had nowhere to go. Hit Cookie. Cookie half spun across the track, and from that point on, it was just a domino effect of cars hitting cars.
Well, deployed, and all I could say is that was a... I'm just going to say it, that was a NASCAR type of caution they've just brought out. Because that should have been a VSC. That should have just been a VSC, but either way... the safety car has been a very big talking point in my region. But either way, the two Alpines cars that have come in, we got Ritzy. I haven't mentioned Ritzy in at the moment. The GOAT, the legend, the myth. I have to be biased to Ritzy because he was a bit biased to me when he commentated on me in T4, and especially when everyone was cheering for Sack in Abu Dhabi, and Ritzy was the only one that cheered for me. So there we go.
I don't think anybody cheered for me except for my friends that were watching.
No. Everyone did. And I felt so low. Chandler on top. And yeah, Heatwave, Naf, and Stenner and Cookie, the two Red Bulls, back in 18th and 19th so far. So we're under the safety car after chaos.
After the big one happened at Emilia. Yeah. Love to see it.
The big one.
The big one.
Yes. Well, it basically almost was, thankfully for Ghosting, because if Ghosting was not on, there would have been probably another there would have been 7 or 8 cars piled up in that one, but it seemed like there was a few that was picked up in that one. We'll take a look here and see. Yeah, Heatwave, Stenner, Cooking, front wing, so a few of them were involved. With some damage as Mozzie comes into the lane, and he will possibly change over to the hard tyres, or maybe something else. He might surprise us. Well, Sauce, he can only go to Sauce either way. I forget that this game you only have one set of medium tyres in the race. But either way, we're on lap 432. No cars retired so far, so it's haunting my brain that we could be under the Aston Martin safety car for quite a bit.
Well, Cookie's going through turn 1, same with Mozzie, so it may be coming in this lap, so, but who knows.
Oh, okay, never mind. Alright then. I just lost my screen there for a second. Either way, I'm through turn. Lap 4 of 32, as I said, and we've got Skiffer in P4, we've got Axe in P5, Drix doing quite nicely in P6 so far. Let's have a look at the positions gained and lost so far. 5 for Sanchez, Crispy 8. But of course, if you guys have come into the pit lane, including Cookie's moment we saw before, safety car is in this lap. I don't think we'll see too much happening between the two Alpines, but Hoop will be absolutely trying to challenge it out. As
Um,
hopefully my screen stops. Hopefully my screen stops flashing.
I don't think your screen is not locking the water that's going through the HDMI cable.
Yeah, that's not good. But either way, we're about to get underway. Everyone at home will still see the footage either way since I'm streaming through Xbox. This Hoop has got the jump over Alphanesis. Here comes Skiffer. Oh, it's basically almost free wide as Alphanesis has fallen asleep. And now Alphanesis is going to try and look for the move back here on Hoop. He will.
They're three
No,
wide.
he can't. And here comes Axe! Axe! Axe out of nowhere. Drink's now coming up into this as well. Skiffer's all the way down to P6.
They went 3 wide going to turn 1. Hoop Alphanesis and Skither did. It's just Skither got the short end of the stick there, had nowhere to go, and basically had to go straight on. Did not have to do what Cookie did though, but ultimately it lost in P5 as well. It's the Crispy in the wall. Whoa, that was crazy.
We saw that. Oh my. Oh, we saw that in the background. And that was a big moment there. No cars are out. No, Sanchez looks like he does not have a wing. No, yeah, he does not have a wing on board. Crispy still got a bit of wing to Sanchez the west of it as he waves around. Don't know what's happened there, the heat wave. As Chandler's got 1.7 over the field, he is gone on lap 5.2 as our Axe P4 with all the dramas on that opening lap there. He has blazed his way through the field and he's up in the P4 here at the moment. Drink's made his way through. Raptor in P7 so far, and you got the New Zealander, former champion New Zealand Ryan, there in P8 as we see Roscoe getting passed by the Mercedes.
Sanchez is in for a front wing change, but from what we saw from Crispy and Sanchez, it's just that Crispy had nowhere to go, and then the contact model just got them good together, and they had nowhere to go except for the wall there. So very unfortunate for the both of them, but Sanchez got the short end of the stick in there as well. Had to pit for a front wing change and had to go on the softs.
Yeah, goes on the soft tyres. Possibly hoping for a safety car later in the race to help him out a bit. It's pretty much all you can do, really, at the moment. So, on board here with Stenner, he's in P14, closing up on Roscoe Arm here for 13th place. Stenner's on the medium tyres. Hard tyres are on for Roscoe Arm in the Haas. And, yes, indeed, Medico's Paul Sanchez down in 19th. Not doing too greatly in the Ferrari here this evening. So, DRS now enabled. Chandler's out of that 1 second range. You got Hoop there in P2. You got Alphanesis. You got Axe P4. Axe is really staying with Alphanesis here. Skiffer's is there, but he's not right at the back of Axe where he wants to be. Look at the DRS so far. Hoop's using it a little bit. He's possibly trying to get out of the DRS of Alphanesis, and Chandler's just as smooth as he always is as an operator here at the moment.
Alphanesis had a bit of oversteer coming out of the little banked corner there. Lost some time. Had to use a little bit of battery to stay within the 1 second range as he's starting to flirt within that 1 second range to get that DRS. I think needs a little bit of using more battery as he's 9.8, 9.3, or 0.9. 3.98 now, getting around there. But actual staying comfortable, like what you said, but just keeping his head down, especially after what happened under safety car, as long as he can stay within DRS, I believe he can get something done here.
Cam with a moment as I think Stenner's in the wall. So he is backing his way out. He possibly's got a bit of damage. It's not looking too greatly here for Stenner as Drinks is around. So the AlphaTauri's gone around, and I don't think he's got damage. No, he hasn't, because he would have pulled into the pit lane if he did. So the AlphaTauri P16. So a few drivers having some moments here. Now this is the battle here for 14th. Crispy and Mozzie, and Crispy goes by Mozzie. There at the moment, that's big.
That's Stenner out of the Grand Prix, but I saw Ritzy and Nath trying to go in too wide in a one-man corner. And we all know what happens after that big collision between the two. But I'm honestly surprised that none DNF because they both went in polar opposite directions towards the wall.
Well, that's what I thought. I saw the end footage of it, and I thought both of them were going to come up as out of the Grand Prix, but surprisingly not. It looks like Ritchie does have a bit of damage on his car here at the moment, and well, the Mercedes doesn't look like he's got damage himself, as that is another AlphaTauri round. It's drinks again.
Something I do want to talk about here is Hoop has been clawing his way in within Chandler's 1 second DRS range, because 1 lap ago is 1.6, but now starting this lap it's 1.3. So with the way Hoop's been gaining on Chandler, he may get DRS this lap, which will bring along Alphanesis, Axe, and Skither.
Yeah, Hoop trying to get close to Chandler, but he's also possibly trying to get away from Alphanesis, but he really can't at the moment. Look at this now. Ryan is through on Raptor, and Ryan trying to hold on to this position, and he does. There's another car around. I believe it's Driggs again, but I suspect we'll see Driggs pull into the pit lane and retire from the session. So, close battle pack here, Ryan, and there we go. Driggs retires in the pit lane. Ryan, Raptor, Louis, and Cam right with each other here at the moment. It's Cam. That was a moment for me there. Sanchez with the fast lap of the race, and it's 1.3 between Chandler and Hoop. Hoop trying to get into that DRS range, and I think he may have just got a warning right there.
I couldn't tell, but Alphanesis is flirting. He almost got out of the DRS range there. Had to use a little bit more of his battery, which is not what he wanted. But Hoop is still gaining a little bit, even with that mistake there. He's at 16 battery compared to Chandler's 78, so I think that's all you need to know compared to the drivers pushing their car to the absolute limit. But Alphanesis with the DRS will just easily pull, as Skither is looking for a move on Axe.
Gets it done. Axe doesn't fight it too much, but he could also be thinking about the situation that if they can get back up to Alphanesis, podium could still be on. Yeah, 0.5 the margin, 1.3 the gap. Alphanesis is just holding on in that DRS range. That's where he would want to hold on. That's what he's trying to hold on here at the moment.
Oh, what a snap from Hoop there. Car was halfway sideways, and I was able to catch that. But all that
Crispy.
game, oh god, it's Crispy's
Crispy
around.
goes around.
But everything that Hoop gained on Chandler there, that lap is now gone. He's actually lost more than he's gained now.
Back to where it was at the start of the safety car, the end of the safety car lap. It's 1.8, and oh boy, so now he could be under pressure here from Alphanesis. He's on 14% ERS. That's usually unusual for Hoop, who usually stays up his ERS in the first part of the race, and he's really hammering it as Alphanesis goes for the move and goes up into P2, as I've lost my co-commentator. Let's get him back in here. Hopefully he's... Don't know what's happened there. But yeah, Alphanesis, P2, and Hoop now will have to try to fight back here. This allows Skiffer, Axe to get up into this fight as well.
Hello. When you said that your internet was gonna go to crap, I think you meant mine, because that's currently what my internet's doing right now. So I may disconnect a couple more times, but oh well. That is what it is.
Oh well, indeed.
I'm gonna have to check the stream real quick, see my audio is included, because something like that happened a week ago and my audio wasn't included for half the race. So I have to go check the stream real quick.
The 7 people watching is Zach coming through. It's now Skiffer now looks for the move here on Hoop. He's closing in. It could be close here for a move here at any moment. The Alfa Romeo now, he's got the run, and Hoop, that battery, the battery starting to hurt him here at the moment, and Hoop's now down to P4. So that brings the Alfa Romeo up into P3 here at the moment, and Alphanesis P2, so it's back to now P in 1, 2. Pull that gap away. Alphanesis. Oh.
I was going to bring up about how Axe lost to DRS, but with that mistake from Alphanesis there, that allows Axe to be back within contention here. P2 from up to P4 to P2, so you never know, as I believe you mentioned Hoop losing that position to P2. Went from P2 to P3, excuse me.
Well, actually went from P2 to P3 then to P4, but Alphanesis with that moment, that's brought her back up into the podium. It's allowed Chandler to pull away to 2.7 here at the moment, and Axe to stay in that DRS, but of course Axe is just on low as battery as the rest of them, except for Chandler, of course, who's just running smoothly. So let's see if anyone can gain some time here. I don't think anyone can gain some positioning here at the moment. Ryan is almost getting out of Raptor's DRS, and Ryan's going to soon be all on his lonesome. But Boss Cookie's closing up here on the Wii. That is a battle for P9 here in this Grand Prix. As also Heatwave now looks like he's going to try to go for a move here on Mozzie. Meantime, it's on for Heatwave, and he will go by. Heatwave goes up into P14 after he spin earlier in the race.
As I also, while you're talking about the Pendleton Heatwave and Crispy, I believe it was, Hoop had another moment there, caught it, so his car is on the absolute edge right now. I bet he's hoping that this stint can last all the way to pit to the mediums, and that way he can just push from there, because the track will have more grip on it, and this setup probably prefers the mediums more than the hards, from what I can tell. So he has another moment there coming out of the chicane.
Yeah, Hoop having a few slight moments as Louis gets a 3-second time penalty. Louis is closing up on this battle with Cam and Raptor, and Raptor trying to stay in Ryan's DRS, because the moment he gets out of it, Cam is going to be all over him, no doubt about it. Meanwhile, Heatwave's trying to make his moves back up from the field. He's closing on that Mercedes, who, question mark on damage for him, same with Ritzy after some chaos we're seeing so far in this race. We're going to watch and see if Heatwave can go for a move here. Hoop is closing up on Skiffer. We'll go back to that battle in just as does Heatwave go for the move here on the Mercedes. They'll go side by side. It's going to be close. Oh, a little bit of a touch, and Heatwave has to go off. Oh my.
Definitely, as Ryan has dropped Raptor from his DRS. Now Raptor has Cam and Luis and Cookie behind him. Two of the three drivers I mentioned have time penalties, which are Cam and Luis. So it's going to be interesting to see how Raptor can defend off of these three drivers. It's just as Crispy has disconnected his eye, we'll try to get him back in. There we go.
Hoop, slight moment. Alphanesis trying to get up there with him. Hoop having slight moments every now and then. And the LP trying to get as close to the back of the Williams as he possibly can. And Axe still holding on to that DRS. Just maybe look for Axe to go for an undercut or an overcut. We'll see what he might do as things stay steady. Everyone goes back to the same margin again with the DRS. 3 seconds for Chandler over Skiffer here so far. Lap 15 is our head. Cam gets through a Raptor. I said the moment Raptor loses that DRS, Cam would come through, and he has. So Cam now goes up to P7, and he'll try to close in on New Zealand Ryan if he possibly can. As meanwhile, the Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo guy, Heatwave's made contact with the Mercedes, and Heatwave has to go off again, and he goes for a spin.
As he has disconnected. I wonder if that's just a coincidental disconnect, or he just decided to rage. But I'll invite him just in case.
Assuming rage quit, but who knows? It could be a very unfortunate disconnect. You never know with this game. So, I need a 72. Sorry, 72. 32. It is Hoop P3. This is really the big battle here at the moment between Hoop and Skiffer. Championship rivals. And Hoop will be... I don't think he's going to use much of his battery here. I think he's going to just stay in the DRS for a bit of Skipper, as Axe is slowly losing that DRS now between that top of 2P4. So he'll have to make sure he doesn't lose too much time to New Zealand Ryan behind. But Raptor still with Cam. You've still got Louis there, Boss Cookie there, as the Mercedes retires in the pit lane.
An interesting play there by the Mercedes, but Ritchie gets a 3-second time penalty as Heatwave hasn't joined back yet, so it's a rage quit, which is unfortunate.
Yes, indeed. It's very unfortunate, but either way, back up to the front. Hoop has closed that margin a little bit more. But again, I think he's going to sit behind for a little bit. Chandler's all on his lonesome. Hearing him 3 seconds to gap. And he's, unless we see a late safety car, it could be drama filled for him. As Skiffer's trying to break that slipstream a little bit there. As 0.72, Skiffer actually had the better run through the last few quarters in P2. So pretty much right now, it's a wait till these hard runners come into the pit lane. That's pretty much the story of this race right now.
I mean, it could range from this lap starting this lap and all the way to lap 22. Who knows? I don't know when the pit window opens for the mediums, but it's probably going to be very close. As it will depend on who pits first, because in this game, as already everyone knows, that they have heavily cracked down on P with tires in the game to see if they get long or just the mediums.
Interested to see what they do. What happens with that one is... Okay, I just saw the sky on my screen with Sanchez. Okay, that was interesting. Either way, Skiffer's in.
Is that has started? Is that going in the now? They'll drive. We can warm up the tire, and even the leader Chandler Seda.
In somewhat cleaner. He's got Ritzy up ahead. See how he takes turn, makes it. Oh, he just takes it beautifully. So we'll see if Skiffer can gain some time here. And as you said, maybe gain some time on Chandler at the end of this race. But we'll see how it pans out. If maybe he can make the undercut, or is the overcut going to be, as we said, a very OP type of strategy this game here at the moment. So lap 18 to 32. It's the story of the moment of Chandler in the lead. Will he come into the pits? He'll go for another lap. What about Hoopalicious? Will he keep going or come into the pits? As I've lost my screen again as Alphanesis comes into the pit lane.
5-second time penalty to his name as well for speeding. So not going to help his race. But as Ryan comes into the pits as well.
Yeah, lane 2. And Ryan will come in for a set of medium tyres. Yeah, they go on. So Ryan comes in. How far is Skiffer ahead of Alphanesis? Let's see. Yeah, he's ahead. I feel like he's got a little bit of a gap. He's gained a little bit of a gap over Alphanesis. Just a little bit. So undercut could be quite nice here so far for Skiffer. We'll see how it all pans out. It's 27.9 for the gap. We'll keep an eye on the gap for you between him and Chandler. I don't think he's going to get Chandler. I don't think he will, unless that would be the surprise of the year, in my opinion. But he's coming up to traffic as well as Skiffer, so he's got to have to hope that this has not held him up too much. Ritzy's currently holding up his favourite car. That's the Alfa Romeo, and he lets him by. And Skiffer goes in.
Skidler's already a second ahead of Ritzy, so it's not even going to be close, in my opinion. And Skidler's coming around the final corner now as Hoop 5 got let out of pit lane. So actually, it may be closer than I think it could be, but who knows? Just the
Fastest lap
fastest
of the
lap.
race. And there he goes, gone. So that's about 2 to 3 seconds. The gap between Hoop and Chandler was 3 seconds. This could be close. As now Skipper, he's got to get this move done on Roscoe. Gets it done. This could be close here between Chandler and Skipper. Or I could be proven wrong.
We're just gonna see what Chandler will do here this lap. I think what he does here this lap will depend on where he ends up. If he pits now, I think he will be the leader as he actually comes in.
Alright, let's see if my calculating is correct. Axe is in, and we should see Louis and possibly Cam in too. So it looks like nobody wants to go the hard to sauce. Cam possibly does, and he's going to go for the race lead as Louis gets a speeding penalty. Chandler, smooth pit stop. Here comes Skipper. As Chandler going to just get there. He's there with Chandler. And of course Chandler's on cold tyres. Will the Alfa Romeo take the opportunity right now if he can find it possibly here over the Alpine? He needs to find it in this part of the track right now. He's going to get the run and go for a deep middle. Try around the outside. Can't get it done. And he's going to try to get the run through here. Oh my days, flashbacks for me, does not look good, as now Skipper will go through into what will be the race lead once the top two pit.
Surprised for that. But we're same with who? A little too greedy. That's actually as Will has disconnected away as well as going into
around.
I
think that from the view I saw, it possibly just a spin. Coming out of the corner. So, there we go. And P12 looks like will not be on now as our Axe looks for the move here on Mozzie. This is for in the Grand Prix. As Cam goes along, he will be going for soft tyres, and I think Cookie's probably going to be doing the same thing possibly as he's on 19 lap old medium tyres. So lap 22 and 32, we're getting close to 10 here in this Grand Prix. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be game on between these two at the front. He's looking like a comfortable P3 here, Hoop, as Alphanesis comes in on the soft tyres.
As I'm currently looking, it seems like Skither and Chandler are holding even through the first few sectors here, as Chandler's having second up on his time, so he's definitely pushing a little bit in relation to Skither now for Romeo, but definitely I am very surprised at how much you are on how much time Skither managed to find on its 2 laps there compared to Chandler's hard laps as Hoop gets around risky once again as Cookie is in the pit lane, but Cam decides to stay out for at least one more lap as Chandler will get a little bit of dosage of DRS to help him carry himself back up to Skither.
Well, I think it's just you can make the undercut work in this game. You just got to be very good with those cold tyres, and Skipper's shown that he is. And that's pretty much what's got him into this race lead. As here, Boss Cookie in soft tyres, he goes on. And looks like a few others, Ritzy, Roscoe, Cam, they're probably also, Mozzie as well. They're going to be going on the soft tyres towards the end of this Grand Prix. So the battle for the lead, Roscoe and Hoop. Oh my god, it'll be oh wait, Hoop is
into the wall. He's out.
Well, I was just trying to figure out. Now, I was just trying to figure out, is that a safety car? Yes, or is that a VSC? I can't tell, I can't read. Why does this game say Sector 1, 2? Give us what it is. I think it's a full course.
It's full course, it's a full course.
So, Skipper's around. I wonder how the hell that's happened.
Well, from what I can tell, he tried to push to stay out of the stretch for Chandler.
No,
I caught him to him last second spinning out as the game lied to me then if it's a VSC. because it literally told me safety car on board. But wow, this has been an abysmal week for Skither and for Realistic and for Tier 1. As this will break his record of winning every race that he's shown up to.
Game goes on the medium tyres. Will be soft tyres for Roscoe Arm. Yeah, it's VSC because I didn't. That's another thing for you commentators out there. If you're trying to figure out if it's VSC or safety car, try to see if the safety car's out on track on the map. On the map. So
I look at the
24:32. So yeah, but some of us are too blind to figure out if it's a V there or not.
I mean,
so I was on board with Hoop. Hoop was off in the grass, and then all of a sudden, Skiffer out of the Grand Prix. Well, that is a chaotic couple of minutes if I've ever seen one. So Chandler right now, unless something dramatic, like internet, like he said before the race, it's looking like he's going to win this race. Hoops and Axe looks like he's going to get a third out of nowhere with the dramas for our Phoenicians and of course Skiffer out of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I've always been preaching about since I really joined this league, really. You could even go back to my first podium interview at China in Season 5 where I said, in order to be good in this league, you have to stay consistent, and that's definitely what Axe has done, and as long as he can keep it on the track, because I brought it up, he won't, but as long as he can keep it on the tarmac, really, I think he has.
As Ritzy and Axe go at it, Axe goes up in a P3. Skipper in the chat, what's happened? What's happened to you, son? As our Axe looks for the move here on Hoop. Hello in a second. That was a... If he got that done, that would have been a hell of a move. He's all over the back here of Hoop. And this could be a battle here for P2 on here at the moment. And if these two battle a bit too much...
As soon as I brought it up, 3 seconds to Axe, but now that brings Ryan in for consideration for the podium. Same with Raptor as well on the other McLaren.
Yeah, well, Ryan now has an opportunity to get a podium here, a P3. So now he'll have a bit of incentive to pick up the speed a little bit. As Axe and Hoop, Axe will now try to fight it out here. Axe is 80% of VRS. Well, Hoop's got a bit of VRS as well, so they still got a bit saved. Axe is going to try to go for the move here on Hoop. Is he? No. Is he going to sit behind Hoop for a little bit? We'll see and find out. As Ritzy's going possibly to the end, because Ritzy has pitted. Could be going to the end. We'll wait and see if Ritzy does go to the end of this Grand Prix. As it's going to be, well, it's going to be on here between Axe and Hoop, but Ryan is closing in. And he's starting to use a bit of his battery, trying to get under that 3 seconds, which he is right now.
Yeah, he is. Ryan needs to get a bit of a move on here, as Ritzy is floating to DRS with Axe. As long as Ryan can get within DRS of Ritzy here, and Ritzy is actually falling out of the DRS, so Ryan needs to get past Ritzy ASAP here if he wants any chance at a podium here, as Axe is holding on to the rear gearbox of Hoop here, probably using his DRS, a little bit of overspeed to pull away from Ryan. That way he can keep his P3.
Here comes Axe right at the back. We got Louis at the back of Raptor. We'll go to that in just a second. And let's see. Goes for it. Axe goes up at a P2. So he gets past Hoop. And now we got Louis looking for a move on Raptor. Yeah, Louis through. So Louis through on Raptor. Raptor will try to stick with Louis as best as he possibly can, because Louis could be on for a good top 5, maybe top 4. Depends how things go here at the moment. And yes, Beniko, how is it possible? Top 4. He could still even get a top 5 maybe. But either way, Ritzy will get in the points at the end of this race. So now Ryan, he has to get a bit of a wriggle on here, because now he's starting to pull away and could still get onto that podium as Louis gets another time penalty. For those wondering, those are the penalties so far. Louis with 14 seconds, so he's struggled a little bit, and he's struggling even more as he's around.
Very unfortunate for Mercedes drivers. F56 gets a 3-second time penalty as well. It's gone from bad to worse for the Alpine driver, as Luis is probably just sitting there trying to let other cars away. Or maybe he just left his room in frustration. Who knows?
Here comes Ryan now on Ritzy. Hoop is not with Axe at all away. Ryan needs to make this move if he wants an opportunity to possibly get a podium, and he gets it done. And Ritzy right now, he's going to be P6, looking at how things will play out. But that is still not a bad job after 25 laps on the hard tyres. So it's around 4 seconds between Ryan and Axe right now. And Ryan needs to find a bit of a second over Axe if he wants the opportunity. As Louis, let's see if Louis comes in to retire. Yes, he does. Mozzie in the points here for Alfa Romeo. That's good to see. Mozzie in the points. Roscoe Arm in the points as well. Roscoe and Mozzie in the points. The Australians doing a superb job here so far.
I do want to note, Hoop has lost DRS off of Axe, so with that being said, Axe could maybe get a P2 here as well.
What if Hoop's struggling? Or he's just happy to know that he's going to get a podium either way, and he's just going to take it to the end. That could be a factor. Ryan's time here on Axe, so Axe could just be absolutely gunning for it here right now. He absolutely is, to hold on to that P3 here at the moment, and he's doing superbly. So our race leader will be race winner. 4 to go. The absolute king of Imola, who's doing superbly around here. That, because he'll back and he'll use that statement if he hears it back. Chandler looking for another win here at Imola, and he's doing superbly. 10.9 seconds. Raptor close it in on Ritzy. This could be an interesting battle.
I mean, I doubt Ritzy will fight it. I think he's more worried about these tires making it than fighting for a position that eventually you're going to lose as well because of time penalties and tire differential. So if he fights it, it would just be a losing battle. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just lets him go here.
On it. I think Raptor also got a warning just beforehand, but let's see. McLaren with 3 laps to go here in the Grand Prix. DRS, and he should go for it here at the moment on Ritzy, and he'll get it done. Ritzy's not even going to challenge it hard, and Raptor top 5 here for the McLaren here today, doing a superb job. But since we're coming down to the Isaac driver of the day.
Driver of the day, honestly, it has to go to Axe. Because we went from him studying the middle, us just noting that he's sitting there, to him capitalizing on other drivers' mistakes, and now he's absolutely gunning it for a P2. And as it's going, it may actually happen because the gap between himself and Hoop is 2-3. Axe has a 3-second time penalty in track limits, so my driver of the day will probably go to him. But Ritzy also you can make an argument for driver of the day as well. For if he can do this, he will have 29 lap old hards at the end of this Grand Prix.
So I've just checked up. Skipper's wheel broke. It's stuck left at neutral. Oh dear. That's well, that's a big moment in this championship. That is wow.
That's not good.
No, that's not good at all. And not definitely what he's wanting, as Alphanesis gets a time penalty. He's all the way down in P11. What could have been for Alphanesis here this evening. Could have been a 1-2 maybe for the Peens, but not. So we're closing in on the final lap here in this Grand Prix. Ryan's just holding up P4. He's happy to take that P4. 26 points the margin. If Hoop gets P2, the margin will come down even dramatically. But either way, it will be very close throughout this field. The championship now closes in. And the fight between Hoop and Skiffers.
Yeah, definitely. It's a gap now. 3.2 between Axe and Hoop starting the final lap of this Grand Prix. Hoop and Axe as well at similar battery. They're all going to give it. They're all here in the final lap as Chandler has been just cruising this whole Grand Prix. No, the challenge of, like you said, has a great record here at Imola, and that great record will continue.
Cookie goes for the move on Ritzy. Cam could come straight through as well. Talk to me nicely. Going very nicely. And it's come through. There you go, Cam. There's your shout out. As we got the final lap here on this Grand Prix. Chandler will win 10.7 seconds in what could have been a ding-dong battle between him and Skiffer. But Skiffer's wheel braking. My goodness. That has allowed Chandler to get this win. Cookie and Cam battling out for P6 to them in just a second.
You, but something is wrong with Hoop. He had lost absolutely a lot of time between and as he's still struggling with the car. Ryan may get a podium here. As the Grand Prix, I come across the line for a second. Will Ryan go for absolutely sending dive as he hits? As Hoop hits Ryan, Hoop will go off the track,
Ryan
and that's going to be Ryan P3.
Well, actually, I don't know what to say. So Chandler wins here at Imola. Axe P2, and I have no idea what happened to the Williams there. 5, Cam P6, Cookie P7, Ritzy gets home P8, Roscoe P9, P10.
I don't know what happened. I really don't.
Alright, well, Ryan gets a podium, Ritzy driver of the day. My goodness me. Alright, well that was a... yeah, that was an interesting end to this race, to say the least. I'll get our top three and is that another wheel problem for who? So wheel problems are happening galore here in this race. Oh.
Yeah, it's just
so there we go.
Really.
I'll get our top three in Chandler, Axon. I don't think Mr. New Zealander thought that was going to happen. Ryan in P3, Hoop P4, Raptor P5, Cam P6, Cookie P7, Ritzy in P8, Roscoe Arm in P9, Mozzie P10. The Aussies doing very well in 9th and 10th. Out this heat wave, Crispy, Sanchez, Luis, Skiffer, Nav, Driggs, and Stenner out. Well, excitement overload. We'll I'll wait for Mr. There he is. And Zach, whenever you're ready, I'll let you absolutely start things off with our third and second.
Well, Ryan, the only Australian on the podium for this race, everybody else around you is American. Sorry. But you wasn't really up in the front like during qualifying, but in the race, it seemed like you turned on the switch there. Really was P4, but I'm assuming something happened to Hoop's wheel there. But like as coming to the final corner, you're right on him, and then you eventually got around him, had to make a little bit of contact to get it to happen. Just give us your thoughts really about that last, especially in the race.
Yeah. So practice. What is that? I don't know. I just avoided all the crashes. Had okay race pace, not quite as quick as I need to be, obviously, but I don't know what was going on with Hoop until Chandler just told me his wheel died, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, not bad for a New Zealander.
It's not bad for a New Zealander. As I actually called you Australian, by the way. I want you to know that. I don't really care. But it seems like you're definitely a lot sure if you're a reserve or full time though. If you're full time, just really just for constructors wise, helping Haas gain a couple places, constructors, and just really how you feeling about the championship. He's not full time, Max, bro. You gotta let me know before I ask the question. But anyway,
If you
since
check
you're
in
not
every
full
week,
time,
you're gonna race. You're gonna race every week if you check in. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm full time.
He
so.
won't.
Yeah. Well, though, yeah, Ryan racing every week. That's funny.
That's crazy. But Ryan, next week if you race at Baku, how you feeling going to Baku? How you feeling about your pace, or have you not done a single lap there like how you did this week?
I drove it when the game came out, but that's about it. So, who knows?
You probably
looking
drove
to-
it for only one reason:
Yeah.
to send cars flying in the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
I don't know.
But anyway,
I'm just
Mitchie, do
looking
you
to
have any
improve it.
questions for Ryan?
No.
Wow.
Definitely
See how
does.
it is.
But I can tell I am god awful at interviewing people. But now we will move on to P2. Axon McLaren. Same thing with Ryan, really, but it was a lot more noticeable. Qualifying midfield, but at the race, especially after that safety car, you just pulled your way up to P5, and then eventually, like what I said, you stayed consistent, you stayed clean. Eventually, you went from had a chance at podium to guaranteeing a podium, and then somehow bagging a P2. Just really give us your thoughts, really, about that race, and especially the last final laps with what happened to Hoop, and how much did your nerves go up?
Well, I can tell you right now, Hoop's wheel just kept resetting the entire time. So I knew I always had a chance to pull him. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was weird. But yeah, I kind of sucked on the hards, and then the mediums felt like they felt so much better, and yeah, I was able to jump back up to them. I think they're getting held up by the boy Ritzy in Tier 1. First time in like 17 years.
Yeah, definitely. As I do know for a fact you're full time, so I can ask you this question instead of Ryan. Just after that great points finisher, both you and Supply helping out McLaren and constructors and in the drivers. How you feeling that momentum going the next week? Hoping to carry it over Baku, just especially if your pace as well. Just really, how you feeling about going to the next week of momentum on your side? Yo, that's crazy.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Can't wait.
But I guess since Axe decided to leave, we can go
I
on
guess.
to P1.
Yeah, we'll move on to Chandler P1. The recorded Emila's, she was booming. Then bit of a battle with Skiffer in the race, and then Skiffer's wheel decided to go, and the margin went your way either way. So talk us through that one. A very controlled race at the front from you.
Yeah. So, because I'm washed, I actually had to try for this one, and yeah, first stint was going fine. Hoot was closing a little bit, but then they started battling. I guess he was using ERS and I wasn't. I was just keeping consistent. And I always tend to go long, so last one to pit, and that's what I did. And he undercut me a lot more than I thought he was gonna. But I was planning on just sitting behind him and conserving my tires, but then, yeah, his wheel said no, had other plans, and he just crashed off, and from there it was just not getting penalties, because I had 2 warnings from like lap 11 on, so I couldn't push, but it was fine, because again, the 2 people I would have been fighting, their wheels died, so, you know, that makes things a bit easier. I guess it was worth spending $1,000 on a stupid Fanatec, but I don't know. Yeah.
Well, either way, if you are here for Baku next week, thoughts of that track?
I think I'll be here next week, so assuming I am racing, it's pretty likely. I'll just try and do the same thing again, but Skidler is really fast this game. He's got like 6,000 laps or something on this game. I think I maybe just cracked 1,000. So, you know, it's hard to compete with that type of stuff. But I don't think he's really done anything on back of this game yet, so maybe it'll help neutralize things a bit more. So, yeah, I'll just try to do the same thing.
Well, congrats on the win either way here in Imola for the Alpine, helping out the Alpine in the Constructors as well. Zach, thank you. We'll be back next week for Baku. 0-0 winged, anybody? We'll see how it goes out. Baku next week. Don't forget to tune in T2 in a matter of moments' time to see if the Skepivvy's racing. We'll see you all next week.